Whew, we've had a heck of a snow week. So much inches. It's snowing right now. Welcome back to the Colorado Springs Business Podcast. My name is Andrew Hasley. I am the host of the show. This is a show where we get together and sit and talk with people doing business in Colorado Springs, and we just talk business about their journey, their entrepreneurial journeys, where they're at, where they're going, their challenges that they've had to overcome, and really just, extract as much knowledge as we can and giving that knowledge back to the community, just in case, maybe you want to start a business, or maybe you have and you want to learn about certain things and how to grow maybe different industries, and just really just love talking about business. So that's why I started this podcast. And on today's episode, I have on Thom Seehafer. He runs a non-for-profit organization and a martial arts studio. I think it's Kenpo, and it's in Woodland Park. You can't really see it. I mean, you couldn't see it anyways because there's mountains, but today there's no mountains because it's nothing but snow and atmosphere and clouds. Oh yeah. So we had a really good conversation. Let's just say things got real. And before we get into the episode, let's hear a word from our sponsors. And our next sponsor is Steelix Service and Tire. Steelix Service and Tire is a 5-star rated, family-owned and operated Goodyear. Check their reviews and you will see why they are special. Sure, they fix your car and get you the tires you need, but that isn't what people are talking about. It's about the people. They treat people with kindness, respect, and compassion while providing a needed service at a fair price. They offer full automotive repair and can get any kind of tires you need. They also offer a synthetic blend oil change at an everyday price of $16.95. That's insane, guys. Check them out at 2410 North Powers Boulevard or online at steelixservice.com. And our final sponsor is Alpha Elite Plumbing and Heat. You can check out Alpha Elite Plumbing and Heat at alphaeliteplumbing.com. That's spelled ALPHALETE, plumbing.com. Alpha Elite offers water heater replacements, plumbing services, of course, drain clearing services, radiant heat, water quality. They do all that stuff. Anything that has to do with plumbing and heat, they do it. They do residential plumbing service and repairs. They have a few coupons on their website too, actually, so you can go check that out. They have $100 off any water heater replacement if you go to their website and check that out. They got $20 off any plumbing service call. Just go to their website, check out. They have some cool deals going on. The little coupons, you can download them. So go to Alpha Elite Plumbing and Heat for any of your plumbing and heat needs. All right, let's get on with the show. This is a weekly show where I interview business owners and entrepreneurs from Colorado Springs, in Colorado Springs, doing things in the community of Colorado Springs. I like the passionate talking. That's kind of what I go for. How do you say your full name? Thom Seehafer?
Thom Seehafer.
Seehafer, okay, yes. Cool.
Yeah, and again, Kenpo karate, and there is a difference between Kenpo with an N and Kenpo. So I use I'm very articulate, I guess, when I speak, just from, I've always been like, I enunciate really well, I articulate. So, with the introductions, if you introducing me, Kenpo, make sure you stress the N and everything. But,
yeah.
Because there is a difference with a lot of things. With different styles of Kenpo with an M, Kenpo with an N, but
for sure,
my focus is the Phoenix Project, 501c3. That we're creating a boxing gym up here.
Okay, cool.
And that's the big thing. So, I've been around for a while. People know of me in a variety of different ways because I participate with community for service people. I do,
nice.
The chief of police, the sheriff, local judge, schools know, the programs. Because they send kids to me to go through like 3 months of. For sure.
Yeah. Are these kids that have like are
They're first time offenders.
Okay, I was about to say trouble, but I don't know if that's like a correct.
That's the kids program, but community service. I'm getting DUI, DWI people. Instead of there's not much to do up here community service wise. So instead of being outside picking up trash or I think animal shelter is one of the places. What better way than strengthening your body? Whether you want to do boxing, whether you want to do martial arts, whether you want to do weight training. So you get more bang for the buck, and basically you're getting personal training, you're getting all this stuff, for free, which is fine.
And it's counted as community service?
Yes.
Wow, that's awesome.
And it's run through the Phoenix Project. So the Phoenix Project encompasses, that's the umbrella, which encompasses all this stuff.
I like not to cut you off, but I like that outlook of it. Like instead of punishing these kids, teaching them like there's light in it.
Well, what we do when when we're bored and we don't, Woodland Park doesn't have a lot of things to do. You got kids living at, where Victor is?
No, I don't.
It's very far out there.
Okay.
So you've got kids living with grandma in a trailer in Victor, which is probably an hour away from any type of civilization.
Mm-hmm.
So what are kids going to do? They're going to find ways to occupy.
Yeah.
They're going to do their drugs. They're going to vape. They're going to find something different like that.
Mm-hmm.
So to strengthen their minds, strengthen who they are, build their confidence. They don't need, to submit to what other people want them to do. They don't need to follow in people's footsteps. They can stand on their own and not worry about being called, again, labels. That's the biggest thing. They're not going to be called, so you call me fat, call me gay. I'm not going to smoke. I'm not going to vape. I don't want to do it. You guys can go do it. So it gives them that inner strength and helps them, make a better choice. Do I really want to wind up back in front of the judge? Do I want to have to go through weekly urinalysis tests? Do I want to, put myself through this? Do I want to put my parents through that? So, yeah, it builds them up in a lot of ways.
I bet.
And just, hopefully, and there are a lot of repeat offenders with a lot, they come back again. But at least it gives them an option. You got this choice. You can come in and strengthen your body and, build the confidence, build the awareness, or you can, live, born, and die in Woodland Park. You can be, walking around with your pants hanging down.
Yeah.
And ass, looking like, white trash hanging around here. So, yeah, there's a lot of options for it. And it's helpful to me. I enjoy it because I see a lot of myself in these kids and I can relate to them. Whereas, this little counselor with a pad of paper and a pen, how do you feel? Why do you think you did that?
And you do therapy, essentially. I mean, it's...
Bag therapy.
Yeah, exactly.
Angry? You come in, you put your headphones on, you punch, you kick, you scream. You want to hit me? We'll glove up. We'll do some sparring. You think you're such a badass, you can take care of yourself on the street? Fine, let's glove up and see what you know. And I'll knock you on your ass in a heartbeat to get you to realize that, it's a tough world out there. And your act, you're bragging, you're big man, you're big girl, especially the girls. They don't have a clue.
I think I was one of those kids growing up, like I was in facilities for a little bit and doing all running around, running amok and thinking I was badass and but the world did show me that I wasn't.
So hopefully if we can alleviate that where they're not seriously hurt or seriously scarred, where they're, sexually abused or any of these things that some of these kids are going through right now. And, they realize, like I tell everyone, you've all got potential. You may not know what it is yet, but, you've got a reason to be here. And don't be worried that you don't have your PSATs and SATs. Don't be worried that you don't have college all figured out at age 16 years old.
For sure.
Stop with the pressure on yourself.
And the schools put the pressure. I remember when I was 16, they were like trying to get me to figure out my college stuff and all that. And, college never was for me. I never went to college. But, I don't think it's for everyone. I mean, it is for certain people. And I think it's good for certain people. But it wasn't for me. And so,
pick up on-the-job training, because you're working and things. But the schools don't really do shit, at least up here, especially when it comes to bullying and suicide. I can't even say those things.
Okay.
So.
What do you mean you can't say those?
Well, let's just say, when I took over the school 6 years ago, I would have thought they would have welcomed someone who wants to come in and put an assembly for the kids. Talking about self-confidence, talking about self-awareness, talking about stuff like that.
For sure.
Didn't even jump at the chance.
When you say come into the schools, what do you mean?
I have an assembly where they all sit in the auditorium and we talk, we interact. I bring some bags, they punch, they kick. We do role playing about why you shouldn't bully, why you shouldn't label people, why you shouldn't, say, call people names and everything. Never got a jump out of that. Woodland Park especially, I would say, this is my observation, but I've been working with the schools enough. Big thing, that karate, they seem to feel teaches fighting. It's got nothing to do with confidence, awareness. B, and I've been told this numerous times, that if I talk about something, it will plant the thought in a kid's head. We talk about suicide.
Oh, wow.
It'll plant the thought. That's the ignorance.
That's it. Yeah, for sure. It's fear. I mean, it's...
So bullying, we got to be careful. You don't want to say the wrong thing. I teach you how to protect yourself. Okay? You stand up for yourself. I coming at you, you shove me. I fall on the ground. I hit my head. I'm in a coma. I'm bleeding or something like that. Do you think anything, they praise the person who stood up for themselves? No. You get penalized. You get suspended for, standing up for yourself, saving someone else. And then, you allowed that guy to come and teach them karate, to teach them how to fight. It's a
Wow.
It's really, yeah.
What do you think? What do you think you could do to help shift that perspective?
One person at a time. That's why this program it's going to happen, and they're going to listen one way or the other until, you know what, someone comes up and kills the mayor's kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or it hits home to someone more personally. Someone comes up to school and decides to take a gun and start shooting.
Mm-hmm.
They already dealt with suicides, but they don't deal with the fact that Bobby's not here because Bobby was then being bullied. Bobby went home over the weekend and put a belt around his neck.
Mm.
That's why Bobby's not here. Not this shit where they sweep it under the counter, under the carpet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these kids don't know how to deal suicide. They don't know how to deal with their inner emotions.
For sure. And being a teenager, like all that stuff's going crazy in your head, like all the hormones. And
they're saying, we have grief counselors.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is a grief counselor? No. When this happened to me, a friend of mine, I went out on the track and I ran and I screamed and I cried. And I said all this shit to release it.
Mm-hmm.
But what are they supposed to do? They act out. Oh, you're a bad seed. You're acting out because you're angry, you're mad, you're frustrated. Nobody knew why or when or who or how. But do you think they they counsel you for drug abuse, alcohol abuse, sexual abuse? Do they counsel you when someone takes their own life? No. As far as I can see. And I get answers, I get told what I want to hear. Well, we have this resiliency program in effect. And okay, do you know what a resiliency program is, even at your age?
I don't need.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I guess it's something that helps you be tougher.
Resiliency, the ability to bounce back. I guess I'm thinking resilient like a rubber. Mm-hmm. But what is that? That's just another long ass sentence to cover up that you're more concerned about keeping funding and grades and status and ranking.
Yeah. Well, schools do that all the time. They'll push people through the system because they don't want those bad grades on their records, or those people that are failing not coming through it. And Kansas City, like some of the school districts down there, they're infamous just for pushing people through the system without like people who like I made it through 8th grade. I didn't show up half that year, and they just pushed me on to 9th grade. And it's just like I was like, I shouldn't be in 9th grade right now, but I am. And then I dropped out.
So, that's what I see. And you asked how we're going to be able to fix this. We might not be able to fix it, but you know what? At least I can give the kids an area or a place where they know they can come and talk about, or a place where they know they can hang out and be themselves. Because unfortunately, it's just going to keep going around and around and around. Colorado Springs they deal with it a lot more than we do up here.
I was about to say, do you allow people to come up from Colorado Springs or kids?
I do, and I'd love, I'm trying to build a staff here where I can leave and go to the Springs and do some stuff. Fountain apparently is on top of a lot of this stuff for whatever reason. So it's just, it's the city above the clouds. It's Woodland Park. It's our little Aspen. It's our little Breckenridge.
Yeah.
They got all these thoughts, think about what Woodland Park is until the day happens, or they're just in denial of a lot of things. Because kids, you stand up for yourself because I'm fighting you. You know what? You get suspended. Yeah. Very rarely does the person who started the whole thing get suspended.
Oh yeah, that's the frustrating part about it too. Yeah.
And the kids don't talk, so they're not going to stand up for themselves because I get suspended. I get sent home from school. Mom and dad are going to be so mad at me when I get kicked out of school.
It's like, what are you supposed to do when someone's like literally in your face, like what are you supposed to do?
So there are non-aggressive ways. I got my space. I tell you once to stop. You come in my space, then my wheels are turning. Okay? I jab you. I shove you. I tell you once, don't do that again. You do it again, I bend the finger back. You don't necessarily need to come and throw right cross at me and knock me on my ass. But it's that control factor, especially with the girls. Bobby grabs your ass? Hell no. Because you know what? Bobby's next going to take you behind a dumpster, zip down his pants, put his hand up your ass, and fucking rape you. Girls don't think about that. So as you can sort of see, I get angry. I get emotional.
Yeah.
I get very passionate about
this.
It's just something that, people ask me, what and why, why does it mean so much to me? I don't have a clue. But I know when I took the studio over, Facebook, I was on Facebook, and there's a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old taking their life.
Oh, wow.
Way back when. And there's no need for that. So I figured this would be a good platform for me to start, something and see if we can't just help one person or get one person to understand and just, little by little.
Yeah.
So that is where everything has evolved with the programs and, with what we're trying to do here with the kids and everything.
And it's called the Phoenix?
Yeah, because if you have any idea, you know what the Phoenix mythological bird is all about.
It rises from the ashes. Mm-hmm.
So think how that can relate to anything. Mm-hmm. I got fibromyalgia. I got multiple sclerosis. I'm domestic violence. I'm handicapped. I'm alcohol abuser. I'm drug abuser. So what? You can still pick yourself up. Sometimes we got to crash and burn serious before we realize that.
Sometimes, I think that's a lot of the times,
So
hopefully you don't have to, but
but it segues into this conversation. Then you look at the colors. If you notice, I got Phoenix. I got a Phoenix. I got a Phoenix. Phoenix was my first tattoo.
Oh, nice. When'd you get that?
Oh, Lord, this thing's been here about 15 years.
Okay.
But then you think, the colors of the Phoenix. It's not gray and black and brown. It's yellows, or it's vibrant to talk about the energy, the auras that we all naturally have.
Yeah.
So we get, holistic, homeopathic, with a lot of it, but get these kids to understand the secret, the law of attraction. You get out, you get what you put out. You get back what you put out. Life sucks. Poor me. Why?
That's what you're going to get. Yeah. And I've had a fight with that with my business, going into business, when I'm thinking of, you manifest those negative thoughts into reality, but you're not, what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say is you haven't failed until you failed. And even if so, there's the Phoenix.
And a lot of these kids don't get that kind of pat on the back. They don't get any kind of that moral support. Okay. You did something wrong. Oh, you're bad. No, you're just a kid.
Yeah.
Who's acting out or just being, God forbid you're being a kid at 15 years old. You can't touch, you can't play, you can't do hide and seek, you can't play cowboys and Indians, you can't do tag, you can't do any of this stuff that normal kids do because someone's going to offended. Oh, I saw you push that little boy over. No, we were playing tag and he fell down. And then the kids get labeled. I mean, I've learned I don't have any kids, but I've learned so much just from the kids up here. They're labeled from one school to another. They're just kids acting out. Granted, some of them, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds don't need to be looking up little 7-year-old girls' skirts, mind you.
No. Yeah.
But that's also, a kid type deal. But, a lot of it, I think, is just this.
People are just like pushing it to the side, basically. Yeah. Not looking at it, not hearing it, not seeing it.
And yes. And again, this is all my observation, but like everyone else, I'm entitled to my opinion. And I don't speak, from not knowing and not, being involved.
And you wouldn't be so passionate about it if you didn't think that there was a need for what you do. And I'm sure there's good programs out here, people with good intentions, but apparently you wouldn't have that feeling to start this if you didn't feel like there was a need for something better, something more.
Intentions are good. What's the follow through?
Yeah. I know someone, people say this a lot, at least I've heard it a lot, Hitler had good intentions.
Oh, good Lord. Imagine me putting that on Facebook and with a park. But yeah, it's actions speak louder than words. So don't tell me, don't fill my face with this whole rhetoric, this whole speech about what you're going to do. Show me the money.
Yeah.
Show me what you're going to do for the kids.
For sure.
I still have yet to see it. But we've got $300,000 of grant money and we're
yeah.
Fine. Do I look that stupid? So I'm very loud. I like to poke the bear's cage. I like to stir up trouble a little bit.
Yeah.
That's the only way you get things done.
For sure. So with nonprofits, they're businesses too, right? In a way.
Yes.
So is this the business you want to focus on for this episode?
I think so. Okay. Yeah, and I could segue a little bit because, like I said, it's the umbrella for Panthers boxing, which is going to be the gym up here. We're going to call it Panthers because it stays with the theme. Everything in the schools is all Panthers wrestling, Panthers basketball. It's going to keep with the colors, the green up there on the top wall there. Okay, it stays with the school colors because we want to create scholarships. We want to give back to the booster club, through sales and everything like that. So Panthers sounds badass. number one, but it keeps that familiarity. Oh, Panthers boxing, Panthers wrestling, Panthers, track type deal. It just builds consistency in the name. So, yeah, I would like to focus on this and still let people know, what options they have, what's coming to the Teller County Woodland Park area, and just see what happens. Just let it roll a little bit.
So how long has the Phoenix Project been around?
We officially got the 501c3 notification. It's been a year and a month.
Okay.
Actually, 2 years actually, because it's been in the works. So this has been a thought of mine, for a while, and now I'm getting the right people in line to help, do the funding and everything. And we're doing fundraising out here. I've got a lady that's helped me doing some fundraising. So we're expecting April. It could be summertime, but we could possibly be creating the next boxing champion up here. Start them, from Woodland Park, then they go down and finish up at the Olympic Center. But it all started in Woodland Park type deal.
Nice.
We want to have fight night, bringing in different styles of martial arts, different boxers, having Colorado Springs versus Woodland Park, whether it's firefighters versus firefighters, police versus police. But again, community, a fight night.
When you say fight night, I know a lot of people might be on like, oh, they're fighting. What's going on?
3 rounds.
Okay.
Minute and a half rounds, bringing in different styles of martial arts for both men and women.
So what do you think are some of the key benefits from fight nights or things like that?
People need to understand it's all about exercise. It's not a slugfest. So even with people
that's what I think people think slugfest when they hear that.
Well, they're going to go through training. They're not just going to sign up a waiver, put gloves on, and do this swinging. You want to do that? Go down to the Ute Pass. Go down to the bar down there. We want to try and have a little bit of a tournament, get them to understand, the importance of taking care of your body. Yeah, you got 6 kids. Yes, you both work, sun up to sundown type deal. You still got to find 15 minutes for yourself, a half hour for yourself, because no one's going to take care of you but you. And get them to understand that it's fun. We have some music. We get the restaurant here providing some appetizers and some wine type deal, because it's just going to be right next door. I've got my place. There's a dog groomer here, and the room next door is about 1,600 square feet.
Okay.
So basically, a lot of this stuff is going to be moved over there. So this is strictly going to be martial arts. That's going to be the boxing gym and the weight training area. But it's just fun. It's different. We go back to the 1920s, 1930s.
That's where they fight like this, right?
Yep. We get into costume, because that's what our fundraising dinner is going to be when we have that. We're going to take it back 1920s, 30s with the music, with the food, with the themes, with the costumes. And just do something. Instead of a beer fest, instead of an arts and crafts festival, instead of a pet festival, something totally off the wall.
For sure. I think it would be fun. It teaches discipline. It teaches, health, like physical health, and like there's so many benefits to it, more than just violence. I think people, and it's not violent, is it?
Not when done right. Not if it's going to be supervised, and there's going to be people and it's just going to be, you're going to sign a waiver, you're going to have liability insurance, in case something happens. But come on. You're going to be in a ring, gloves, and throwing some punches, and just competing against a total stranger, baby. It's off the wall, but sometimes we need to break out of the norm and just do something. Yeah, I think I'm going to sign up. It's not a tough man contest, not anything like that. It's just to have some fun and just see, let people witness other styles of martial arts. Let these kids witness. Let the women get in there and do some, sparring with 6'2", 230 pounds Chris. How would you do that? Because that's the other thing. They don't think about it. They're not aware of it. They don't have their awareness going on. They don't think it's going to happen. I've never thought about it. I hear more answers to that question. What would you do if you were attacked right now? Well, I don't know. Too late. You're dead.
For sure.
So just to get the spontaneity, the awareness, again, everything boils down to having reaction and confidence.
Yeah.
Whether you got pepper spray or a gun or a mace, you've still got to know where all that stuff is. You got to be able to react, pull it out quick.
Yeah.
You got to have the confidence.
React quick in a situation that's challenging,
And your adrenaline is going.
Yeah.
And your fear is going. So you've got a lot of weapons on you that you don't even think about. Which purse did I put it in? Which pocket, did I put it in? All these things people don't think about.
For sure.
And just, your spidey sense.
Yeah.
Thinking about that. You pulled up, Walmart. You're next to that vehicle. You're next to that van over there. Okay, you better keep your eye. Where's your purse? Where's your kid? You're going to load up the van while you leave your kid in the car. Guess what? I've been watching you since you left. The minute you turn your back, I'm going to take your kid.
Yeah.
But it's Woodland Park. That wouldn't happen here.
It happens. I mean, I don't know if it's happened here, but I know it happens.
They've had people kill themselves in the Walmart down there.
Oh, wow.
In the parking lot, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. See, but you don't hear that.
No.
Because it would sully the reputation of the city above the clouds.
Yeah.
I like it. I like the people in here have developed a good business just because of the rapport of the people that find me. But it's a nut job for.
So what do you think have been some of the biggest challenge getting this project off the ground?
Just building awareness on it, getting people to understand what it's all about, why we need to have this. We have a teen center in Woodland Park, which is kind of okay. They have Memorial Park, which is over there, where kids hang out. They play the music loud, the vulgar music. The kids are swearing. Moms are there with their little kids. Moms are calling the cops to report that these kids are swearing and playing loud music. Those are pretty much the only two places the kids have besides the lake to do any of their stuff. All right. So with the program, it's going to be available low income, no income type, a sliding scale, pay what you can type deal. Because I'm not a believer that I want to change my life. I want to take care of my health. But because I don't have $200 a month to pay for gym membership, I can't do it. Go back to the barter system. You want to come in, you want to step through the door, show me you want to change your life? Okay, I'll give you some boxing lessons. I'll weight train you. You're going to wipe the mats. You're going to wipe the equipment when you're down at night, or you're going to clean the bathrooms. There are a lot of ways to, change your life, make money, create options for yourself without holding a cardboard sign out there on the corner and begging for money. So it's going to be open to all people. You want to step through the door, that tells me, first of all, you want to change your life. Then where do we go from there? What is your availability? How serious do you want to be with all this stuff? Yeah. And hopefully we hook them from there and they start seeing the change. They talk with our mentors because I want to create a spot where, because Johnny's mom won't buy him the latest iPhone, he feels, life sucks. Well, you know what? Talk with the Iraq dude over the quadriplegic. Who's been in a wheelchair. You think your life sucks so much? Talk with him. Then come back and tell me about your iPhone.
For sure, yeah.
Okay? When's the last time you looked? You saw the snow on Pikes Peak, or you saw that sunrise. Life sucks so much. How about you get up and just realize that you got a roof over your house. You got food in your stomach. You're not in a cardboard box. You don't have holes in your shoes. Just getting people to realize the small stuff. Yeah. It's gorgeous up here. I drive up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm seeing the moon go down. I see the sunrise. Yeah. I got some gorgeous sunrises up here. Then I see the sun go down, and I see the moon rise. Yeah. You get some gorgeous full moons just in that back area. That's my office back there. Oh, that's silly. That's stupid. Not really. When you put in perspective what's important, what's not important with everything, you got to realize the small things. Because anything can be taken away from you in a heartbeat. Everything could be taken away from you. You could be walking out there right now. You could have a heart attack. I could have had a heart attack. Yeah. Nothing's saying we're guaranteed we're here for life type deal. And getting people to understand, having these mentors talking to the kids, getting them to realize reality and that your parents aren't bad. I was just talking with this couple, and because 17-year-old didn't like what was going on in the house, he didn't run away once. He didn't run away twice. He ran away 3 times. But the benefit of the fact was there was the cops that picked him up said, you're 16 years old. You get your ass back to the house. You listen to what your dad has to say, and you stop putting your parents through this little bullshit. Stop acting like a little baby. Yeah. That's what these kids need. But they can't be taken through a jail cell, taken through a jail tour. They can't be put in an 8x12 jail cell for 4 hours. Okay? I don't even know if they do handcuffs on them anymore. But you think that, I know it worked for me. You get slammed in an 8x12 cement jail cell for a little bit. You hear that door slam behind you. You're in there. You're like, what the hell just happened? It's not a good feeling. No. No, but we can't do that anymore. Everyone is so delicate, so fragile. So got more excuses as to why we can't do things. It's like people that don't want to change their lives. They got more excuses why they can't or they don't. I've got this, I've got that. I can't. You're alive. You got 2 hands. You got 2 legs, right? You can do anything.
For sure. As long as someone else did it, you can do it too.
Yeah. The guy, who is he? Quadriplegic. I don't know how many times he's gone up and down the incline. He's either got no legs. He can't be quadriplegic, I don't think. But I don't think he has any legs. Paraplegic. And he set a record for going up and down the incline here.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think it's just, I'm glad the police said something to this kid because he's 17 years old, just turned 17. It's like, really? That's how you're going to act with life? You don't like what life hands you? You're going to run away? You're going to pout?
He might just not have the right guidance, and that's probably exactly what it is. Yeah.
That's the big word.
Yeah.
A cubicle with someone who has no connection. I know what it's like with a lot of things, with the drug abuse and alcohol abuse and feeling unloved and never having a hug and all this stuff, all this emotional shit that goes on in your head. But I'm going to tell you, a total stranger, how do you feel? I feel like I want to reach across the desk and put my hands around your throat if you don't shut the hell up, type deal. But, they don't get that kind of. They get sterile. They get therapy. They get psychology. They get psychiatry. They get all this stuff. But I'm not going to tell you how I feel. I don't know you from Adam. I'm not going to pour my heart out to you. At least if someone connects with me, they can see in my eyes. They can hear in my voice. They can feel the passion from my heart. They know I'm making a connection with them from the get-go. So I can relate to what, some of the guys and some of the girls are going through. They're in one of those gates, one of those walls come down. And then we start building that reputation, that respect more and more. Oh, Tom's a pretty cool guy. Yeah, let's go down to, Panthers Boxing. Let's go over to the karate place for a little bit. I'm here for these kids 24/7. They have my number. If they wanted to call me at 3 o'clock in the morning, they know I'd be there. Do they know? How many people, tell them that? Do they know that? Yeah, their parents say they're going to be there. Their friends are going to be there. All these friends there. 1,257 Facebook friends.
Yeah.
Or their 2,473 Snapchat friends. But trying just building that trust is what they need. It's got to be mutual respect. Not my house, my rules, which is what it was. You're living under my roof, you're going to do what I say. Yeah, that really builds a good, love-hate relationship. That's what most of the kids do.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
How about, we talk about it. You understand why I reacted the way I did to what you said. And then I'll listen to what you said. And then we come to a happy medium. I don't slam my door. You don't slam your door. We don't walk around not talking to each other for 3 days. We talk as to why. We get an understanding. And maybe you'll see, walk a mile in my shoes. He'll understand what I've gone through and vice versa. Understand what I'm saying as a teenager. But nope. We got to butt heads all the time.
For sure.
We got the ego. We got the macho ego. Guys can't show emotions. Guys can't show feelings. Guys, at least they're hugging, they're doing the fist pump, they're doing all that stuff. But, to show emotion, guys aren't supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Why not? So.
And I think the way things, like the way society is going, it's those kind of barriers are getting broken down, and they have systematically over decades,
Little by little, You see guys, hugging guys and, friendly hugs. They don't get called all these labels, but still, there's that inkling in the background type deal. You got to be careful what you do, what you say, how you look, how you walk, how you talk.
And see, I don't give a shit about any of that. I was just at a networking event with, and there's a person who I've done work with before, and before I left, I was like, I love you, and it's another dude, and then he said he loved me back, and this is a middle-aged guy around your age, like, and just I think it was pretty cool, and like the lady sitting next to him, she was like, oh, and so yeah.
You can't be afraid to, express how you feel and show and just, you don't like what I say, that's fine. You don't like how I look, you don't like the color of my hair, there ain't no gun to your head. There's the door.
Yeah.
But I've got to fit, I've got to walk, I've got to have this, I've got to dress, I've got to drive, I've got to score, I've got a college. It's the I've got a list. And I've got to, it's like people when they start changing their lives. I got to stop smoking. I got to stop drinking. I got to stop eating sugar. I got to stop eating fats. I got to run 5 miles.
And then they don't do any of it.
Exactly. And that's what happens.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the Phoenix Project hopefully is going to help, one kid. But it's going to open the doors a little bit, I think, a little bit more, because we want to have a mecca, a holistic center where I do have people where if you're coming in and all of a sudden, you're talking to me and you're a victim of domestic violence, I've got a person I can put you in touch with right away. Nice. I've got someone who, can help you with your sexual abuse issues. I got drug and alcohol. You have trouble paying your bills, I've got a person for that. So again, in my 11 years up here, I've built a good networking of people that I've worked with, and I can speak on their credibility. Mm-hmm. They're not just going to toss you aside. That you're not going to get lost in the system. Mm-hmm.
So you've been in Woodland Park for 11 years now?
Well, we lived here in 2007, 2010. I had a business at that point. I had a tanning business up here, and then 2010 we moved down to the Springs. Mm-hmm. But I've been, coming over here, like I said. But in those 3 years of operating a business and just seeing what goes on with the other businesses and being involved in, certain groups. You hear a lot when you're at, the Kiwanis. You hear a lot when you're at the Lions Club. You hear a lot at these networking. Mm-hmm. Everyone's just sort of conveying their pros and cons as to what's, the goods and bads of Woodland Park and, business helping businesses. Everybody afraid, I'm going to pee on this part. This is my part of my property. Don't you come over. Everyone's afraid of, sort of working together sometimes, creating their own niche. Well, I've got a gym, you got a gym. That's fine. I could do the same thing, but I'm going to do it different than how you're going to do something type deal. So there's the good. There are people that are out there helpful and promoting each other. And then there are the other ones that, don't care, or because we're the same business, I'm not going to promote you because you'd be stealing business, out of me type deal. Mm-hmm. But, now this whole thing, I really think it's going to be a business model, because we really want to try and get it all down. Make sure again it's a crystal clear.
When you say a business model, you mean so we can like a franchise kind of?
So we can duplicate it
across the country.
Yep. So we make sure the whole 501c3 is transparent, to the point of where anyone who works with us will have to have a background check to make sure everything is crystal clear. But we also know background checks aren't always the best way, because there's always going to be some skeleton hidden in the closet. Yeah. Yeah. But
it sounds to me like a lot of the people you work with are troubled teens, and so a lot of people who can help troubled teens are people who did it before. So maybe I don't know what the background check looks like, but
again, it just helps, because this day and age, you rub against someone, you brush against someone, you touch. And all of a sudden, a simple thing, a simple, innocent gesture, because we got to put labels on everything, and I've heard that more than once. An innocent game, guys are playing, and I don't know if you ever played, you whack them in the. All right, so all of a sudden, these two kids do that, and the kid he's labeled as not a sexual deviant or pervert or something. But he's got now a title to that little innocent thing, because the school's got to put a label on it, because they got to fill out their form, and they got to, how much trauma that could put on a kid, a sexual abuser, whatever the title was.
And now they're going to manifest that. Yeah. They're going to manifest being a sexual abuser.
So I think it all, comes down to building the strength. Fat, skinny, pimply, glasses, braces, handicapped, fibromyalgia, all these things that people seem to think they have, it's a challenge. It doesn't, say who you are. It doesn't depict the rest of your life. So we're going to build your strength up so you can be that Wonder Woman. You can be that Batman. You can be the person that you want to be. Because you know what? You've only got one person. You're going to have to rely on yourself. It's nice to have others and build a supporting cast of people around you that are going to pick you up. But at the end of the day, like I tell the kids, there's only one person you're responsible for. That's the person you see in the mirror every night. And you got to rely on you to eat, sleep, make money, work, live. If you're not happy with yourself, I don't care if you have 2,453 friends on Facebook say they're happy with you. Yeah. If you ain't happy with yourself, you're not strong mentally, physically, emotionally with yourself, you're not going to get very far in the world. Sorry.
Well, yeah, man, I guess we'll wrap this up.
Okay.
Is there anything you'd like to let people know about the Phoenix Project, specifically less messages to leave with?
If anyone has any questions about the Colorado Phoenix Project or Panthers boxing or Kenpo Karate Woodland Park, again, my name is Thom Seehafer. I can be reached at 719-930-6365. You can also go on Facebook and find out a little bit more information about Colorado Phoenix Project, or my martial arts school, Kenpo Karate. That's Kenpo with an N. Or to make it easier, the website is www.tseehafer.com. Last name is spelled S as in Sam, E, H as in Hank, A as in Apple, F as in Frank, E as in Edward, R as in Robert, tseehafer.com, all one word. So that should do it for today.
Awesome, man. Well, it was great.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
All right, that's all for this episode of the Colorado Springs Business Podcast. I'm going to get on with my life. This episode was super fun to do. I'm looking forward for more episodes, more entrepreneurs coming on the next following weeks. Oh yes, and there's a new episode of this show every Monday at 9:30 a.m. on Facebook, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you can find podcasts. But it's also video form on YouTube and Facebook, so go follow the Colorado Springs Business Podcast if you haven't already. If you haven't rated this show yet and you have some feedback that you would love to share with me, I'd love to hear it, because I'm always trying to constantly improve this show and make it better and better. But that's all for this episode of the Colorado Springs Business Podcast. I'm out.